Hello, Podsmashers of the Internet, and welcome to another episode of
80-Bit Podsmash,
where gaming goes to grab a beer. We are your hosts, Termite and
Penguin,
and we are a weekly video game podcast smashing together the ideas of video games with culture, art, politics, and other things that we care about.
Yeah, and today's episode we will be discussing community management for video games, and since neither of us are experts in that field, we are being joined today by the legendary Brizzle McFizzle. She is a community manager for a company called Jumbo Fun Games, and they make an indie mobile title called Wagers of War. So her name is Brianna, but she goes by Brizzle McFizzle to the internet. So
Brizzle McFizzle.
Hello, Brizzle. Thanks for joining us.
What up? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're really excited that she's on the show. For our listeners' sake, to know the connection, Brizzle here is my sister-in-law. So she is actually my wife's sister. And I'm really excited to have her on the show because she is not only a gamer, but has experience in a lot of areas of the gaming industry and the gaming community that I have never even really been involved with. So
I heard you're a legendary Twitch streamer.
Oh yeah, totally legendary. 3,000 followers. Awesome. No, just kidding. I dabbled in streaming. It was fun. I wouldn't say that I was extraordinary or anything, but I really enjoyed doing it when I did it.
Yeah, I thought you had a great show. Would you explain to our listeners what your what the gimmicks, I guess, that you had on your show?
I don't know what you mean by gimmick, Penguin. I am a hot dog, and I just dress up like a human sometimes, but I was known as the best hot dog in North America at any game that I played, and challenge any hot dog out there to challenge me, but there's not really that many that play video games.
Right. She is a glorious hot dog, and she was also renowned on her show for beatboxing while playing Vainglory, which is pretty
I'll keep that in mind for our DLC.
Yeah, we might need you to lay down some sick beats for us at some point. That's up to you.
It's fine. I'm always down to lay down some sick beats.
Awesome.
Nice.
Fantastic. So yeah, we are drinking ourselves
same beer that we've been drinking for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
because this is a 6-pack.
This is the third episode
2 back each week. And so this is the third episode with a blood orange ale called Bloodline from Flying Dog.
Yes, and Bree, what are you drinking tonight?
Not that. I am drinking Angry Orchard because I can't do beer, but I can do apple juice.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
Crisp apple original blend. It's super fancy.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Angry Orchard fan. I would never knock anyone for drinking Angry Orchard. So this is where gaming goes to grab a beer and or cider.
Yes, tonight it is.
Tonight it is, for sure.
Heck yeah.
Bree is joining us on Skype over from Asheville, North Carolina, or near Asheville, North Carolina.
Asheville area, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Isn't that like craft beer mecca?
Yeah. So for any of our fans from North Carolina, she's representing tonight. Representing y'all tonight.
Shout out to North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina, go.
Yeah, yeet.
All right. Well, then let's go ahead and get into our show then. And we always start the way we always start, which doing this podcast is our favorite thing. Doing this podcast is our favorite thing.
Our weekly segment about our favorite things. It can be anything from food to something hilarious that happened to us to an experience we had, a place we've been to. We discuss what our favorite things are each week.
We just like to update y'all with what our favorite thing is this week. So I will start. My favorite thing this week is the dinner that my wife made.
Calling out your wife.
It's my recipe, but she just made it tonight because I had work. So I was working and I was like on a call. So she made it, but it's my recipe. So I'm just kind of toot my own horn here. It's a meatball recipe and it's awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's like ketchup and I know it sounds gross, but it's like ketchup and garlic and soy sauce and honey and brown sugar.
That sounds good.
And then I mix in sriracha. My wife, she accidentally mixed in a little too much sriracha.
Yes.
But that's good for me because I'm like, spicy meatball.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was my favorite thing tonight is the meatballs
awesome.
And rice.
My favorite thing is floor lamps. No, not floor lamps, table lamps.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah.
Don't want to mix that up. I used to not care. I'd walk into a room, just flip the light switch, and whatever lights came on, I'm good with. But we have been reducing and decluttering our home and kind of now we're in the organization phase of after decluttering, and we're making each room look better as we go slowly. And my wife comes home from Target with 2 table lamps, and I'm like, sweet, this looks cool. But I didn't really think much about it. I hooked them up today, and the sun set. And then I walked into my living room, and I'm like, I want to live here now. This is amazing. Like,
good thing you do.
I want to live in this room.
Oh, I see.
In a living room.
Yeah.
I want to live there because that's what a living room is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you just walk into my living room, up the stairs from our basement, you can really see like the ambience that it creates, and it's my favorite thing.
Yeah,
like,
I saw it
with it. It's
driving
awesome.
up to the house. I saw the house looked very homely.
Well, thank you.
And comfortable.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. Cool.
It's like a 3-month process. We're still going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brizzle, what's your favorite thing this week?
Ooh, I like the name drop. Brizzle.
Yeah, Brizzle McFizzle up in the hizzle. I like lamps too, but I'm gonna have to go with I don't know. Probably I'm gonna have to go with food. I made really good tacos
Yes.
tonight.
Good choice.
Super delicious from Trader Joe's. It's like this chicken stuff you put in a crock pot, and it tastes better than Chipotle. That's right. I'm dragging Chipotle.
Wow.
Ooh.
But it was super
That's
good.
strong words.
Listen, I mean it. I make some mean tacos.
That sounds awesome. When can we come get some?
Just come over right now, man. I'm sure they're still out.
It's like a 4-hour drive.
It's a
fine.
7-hour drive.
Oh!
Yeah, it's
Totally
long.
worth it.
Oh.
I've got
Yeah.
awesome tacos.
Well, when you come visit, you'll have to.
Wait, you have a
make
Trader
tacos.
Joe's?
Yeah,
I'm so jealous.
you should.
Trader
be.
Joe's is so awesome.
We have
It's
one in Richmond.
basically
not
the
too far away.
best. Can I change my thing to my favorite thing being just Trader Joe's in general?
Yes,
Sure.
you can.
Yes, absolutely.
So good. You can get everything at Trader Joe's. Like, oh, I want some delicious chicken. Boom, Trader Joe's. Oh, I want delicious Chinese food. Boom, Trader Joe's. You want berries for your 2-year-old? Boom, Trader Joe's. Everything.
They do have everything.
It's
Yeah.
so
The
good.
only
It's good.
Trader Joe's I've ever shopped in is actually in Seattle.
Oh,
Believe it
weird.
or not, which is weird. But yeah, I walked in there. I was like, I need one of these now.
They have one in Richmond.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to go get it.
Go get some Trader Joe's.
Spend
Just
an hour
go
on the
just
road
go
just
to
to go
Trader
grocery shopping.
Joe's with like a cooler and then just
Ooh,
stock
smart.
up, and then, you're good for a month if you do it smart. Gotta be
I like
smart.
Sure.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Sure.
Good ideas.
Yeah.
All right.
And
That
an
is
interview.
favorite things and an interview. That is favorite things for the day. So now we're going to move on to our next segment, which is
Bow, 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 bow. Those are rap horns for those
are
of you
rap
who don't know.
horns, Yeah.
You know, like bow, bow,
Yeah.
bow.
Like do
Rap
do
horn.
do like those
Yeah,
ones?
that.
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
Yes.
Yep, mhm,
I'll do
that's
all your
it.
sound effects. Pew 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 pew.
Yeah. DLC is short for downloadable content. And
Because
it
both of our
is-
names are Dan.
Because both of our names are Dan.
That's
and
adorable.
This is content that we are generating right here, right now for you guys.
Which is an extension to the podcast, much like downloadable content is an extension to your video games.
Whoa, it's like we thought this through when we named it. Yeah, so it's usually just kind of a mini discussion, sort of a sub discussion that we like to have. And when we have a guest, we like to put them on the spot and
Do
generate some downloadable content with us.
I'm so
Yes.
ready.
Yeah,
I'm so
you ready?
ready for
All
this.
right. So here's the game today. We are going to be obnoxious members of your community,
Oh, okay.
and you
Oh,
are going to respond to our stupid questions the way that you wish you could respond.
Oh no.
Oh, wait. Did we mention this is a family-friendly podcast?
This is a family-friendly podcast, so
Listen.
maybe like toned down version of the way you
Wait,
wish you
the
could
way I
respond.
wish you're gonna get me in trouble with my boss. Oh, by the
Well-
way, I work with Maverick Mobile Games. Not that big of a deal. They're teamed up with
Oh, I'm
Jumbo
sorry.
Fun Games, but
Gotcha.
just throwing that in there. Got to represent Maverick Mobile Games.
Yeah,
up in his
absolutely.
house. Jumbo Fun Games is
Straighten
awesome
us
too.
Cool. So we'll keep the questions super generic. We're not going to pick
Oh, okay.
actual questions.
I don't know, man. I'm
From-
freaking out now. You
You'll
got
be
me
fine.
freaking out.
You'll be fine.
Okay, let's do this.
All right. So you ready? You got a question?
Yeah, I have it. Not a question, a comment.
Oh, a comment.
As
okay.
if you were playing online and you're
Yeah.
getting ready to start a match. The match is just about to begin.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, because I heard your voice over your microphone, I'm going to be like, oh, she's a chick.
Congratulations, you figured that out.
All right. Okay.
All right. My question is,
Yeah.
I'm posting on the forums and I'm saying, hey, when is that thing that we all want to coming out? When is that addition to the game coming out? When's it going to launch? You owe that to us to tell us when it's going to launch.
No, you? I don't know. I get that question a lot, actually. I get, there's a lot of people that demand stuff. And normally what I say, I mean, it's not like I want to be like, you M word, F word, blah, blah, blah word. It's just like, we're thinking about it. We know that you guys want it. That's usually just like, we know. We get it. We know. Mm-hmm. We know that you want it. When it's going to happen,
yeah.
I don't know.
We heard you.
We know. We know.
Yeah.
It's all good.
All right, you got another one?
I was going to talk about something we're going to talk about later, so I don't want to do that.
No, you got me curious.
I don't like this game.
What?
Fix it. That's the comment. Like, I posted that on your wall
that's the only
in a video.
comment?
I'm like, well, that's how dumb people are. They're just like, this is dumb.
Okay, start
this.
over. Do it again. Say it again. Okay.
This is dumb. I hate this game. You guys need to fix this.
No, you.
Look at it's the same comment.
It is.
Everything. Everything. No, you.
Yeah.
No, you. All right. I got one more. This game doesn't work on my BlackBerry.
You broke Termite.
Get a better phone.
Right?
Like, who even uses BlackBerry anymore?
Trade that in for a Palm Pilot.
I actually have, like, some of our clients still use BlackBerries.
Okay, that's super unfortunate.
I agree. It's really
that's
bad.
That's unfortunate.
But all right, I think that's good. I think two and two each one.
Okay.
So that's DLC for the day.
I just wanted to feel part of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to have everyone who comes on the show needs to do the rap horns. It's kind of a requirement at this point. But all right, that wraps up all of our segments before our main topic. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Like I said at the front, we are talking about community management today. Brizzle McFizzle is extremely lucrative in all of the areas of video gaming that she does. So we have a lot of possible ways we could branch off in this conversation. Talk about mobile gaming. We'll do a little bit of talking about mobile gaming. We'll do a little talking about what it's like to be a woman in the gaming industry. And but yes, the big thing we want to know about is about what it's like to be a community manager. So we're going to kind of focus on that, I think.
And we're going to talk about Brianna.
We are.
What she does.
So
the first question we have for you, Brianna, is...
So ready.
What is your elevator speech? Who are you? What do you do? And what kinds of things do you like in 200 words or less?
So I am a community manager for Maverick Mobile Games, and specifically right now for Wages of War, which is a competitive card game. I already covered, who I am, what I do, what kind of things do I like? I like doing community management and playing video games and being a mom to my daughter. That's what I like. I guess I like my dog too. He's cool. And I like Twitter. That's fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot with a different
likes
question
anime.
that's not on our... Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, my niece is also growing up watching My Neighbor Totoro.
Oh, it's so good.
Other Studio Ghibli
Totoro!
things. He does Studio Ghibli with his son as well.
I've just watched Totoro for the first time in my life, a week ago.
It's so magical.
I don't know if you know about 3-year-olds, but they're obsessed with something and they want to watch it over and over and over and over again.
I mean, that's how my 2-year-old is.
Yeah, it starts early, yeah. And so I've seen Totoro 1,000 times. Every single time, there is a magic in that movie. I was going to say show. In that movie, that's unparalleled. It brings me so much joy, and
it's
it grounds me, and it's just the music and the tone and the voices, and I don't know.
It just
it's
encapsulates
fantastic.
childhood so well.
It really does.
We can talk about this movie for an hour, but we could have
a whole
so
podcast
good. Every
about
time
it.
she asks to watch it, I'm like, all right, let's watch Totoro. It's my fave.
Let's do it.
It's so good.
That's awesome. You said you had another
I do have an extra question. What is your favorite video game?
My favorite video game?
Of all time.
Well, Wages of War, of course.
Of course.
Honestly, though, so of all time, the first video game I ever played through, so it has a special place in my heart, is Kingdom Hearts 1. That one's my favorite video game, probably of all time. It's so good. And I'm not even lying. The game that I work for right now is a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing it. I don't get as much time to play video games now that I'm a mom and my daughter likes to hit buttons and throw my phone. But when I do get a chance to play games, I'll either play my video game or sometimes Vainglory. I don't really play that as much anymore. MOBAs are too stressful for me right now. I just can't handle all the stress. But there was a time when I was really into MOBAs like League of Legends and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But definitely Kingdom Hearts 1 is My absolute fave.
Wow,
That's
all right,
awesome.
sweet.
Yeah.
I just played through the HD remake for the PlayStation 4 recently. It's so good. It was fun. I just played on like the easiest difficulty and blasted through the story. It was fantastic.
That's the best part.
Yeah,
It's nice to hear something different because almost everyone else we've had on the show, other than maybe the episode we did with our wives, like almost everyone else is like, Zelda.
Oh yeah, everyone
Which
loves Zelda.
is great because we love Zelda too.
Yep.
But
They're
it's
so
great.
basic. All right,
Yeah.
you gotta keep it original.
It's nice
Pick
that
a different video game.
Absolutely represent
Nice.
represent some Square Enix there. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Let's move on and start talking about community management. Could you kind of walk us through what your day-to-day tasks are, and kind of what does being a community manager kind of look like, just from
Well,
kind of
for
the top
me, what it looks like is, so I do a lot of social media. So the moment I wake up, I check Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and see what the scuttlebutt is, see what people are talking about, reply with dank memes if anybody says anything. You got to keep your GIF game, or if you say GIF like a loser, but GIF game on point. And then we have a chat room, so we don't really have a forum per se. Like, we have a Reddit, but what we're really focusing on is our Discord community, which is kind of like Ventrilo mixed with Slack chat. So there's different voice rooms, but people don't really use that as much. But we have like a bunch of different chat rooms, like general conversation, strategy, deck building, looking for friends, streaming shares, suggestions, bug reports. Can you tell I'm totally looking at my list right now?
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, so I make sure to kind of keep a tab of what the community is saying and talking about, and any suggestions or feedback that they have. And then I kind of, relay that to our main dev, who's super awesome, total genius, working on the game and making it better. And then, I'm out there on the front lines, interacting with the people and doing what I love doing. I mean, it's basically what I used to do as a streamer, just over text versus, me talking to a camera. So it's a lot of fun. I really, really like it.
That's awesome. Do you find that you really enjoy using those tools that you were talking about, Discord, Twitter, social media, all those things? Do you find that that's kind of where your passion is, or?
Yeah, I mean, I find it easy to use those things. I mean, I use them anyway. So when I was a streamer, I used those, I guess, channels or tools or whatever to, promote myself, if you will. So I'm just kind of like taking what I did there and, directing it towards community management for a video game. But yeah, awesome. I love Twitter. I'm a huge fan of Twitter. It's the best.
Me too.
Yeah, we've got to up our Twitter.
I tweet every day.
Okay, all right, you do. Yeah.
In fact, I tweeted a couple times today.
I need to up my social media game.
You do need to up your... Listen, you can talk to me. I'm happy to help you.
All right, yeah, we'll talk.
Get some help for 80-bit Podsmash from a legit community manager.
Yeah, I'll send you a bill later. No, just kidding.
All right. She should start up a consulting gig.
We will pay when we can. It's kind of...
No,
I want to insert another question in.
Yeah.
In here we mentioned that Wages of War is an indie title. Indie usually means there's no publisher, but you've mentioned two companies. So can you describe the relationship between Maverick and Mojo?
Jumbo Fun.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, Jumbo Fun Games released this game on iPhone about a year ago, and it's a really good game. And then the company that I work for, which is super small, like these are two really small, really dedicated, awesome, but really small companies. My company saw it and said, hey, developer of this game, we have people that can do community management, and we can kind of help take the load off of you and help you, improve your game and work with you to promote it and other things that you might not have time for as a smaller publisher. And so from that, our beautiful union was formed. And that sounds so weird, but just roll with me here. And so the game, they worked on it for the past year and improved it, and then they released it on Android and Steam as well. So it's basically like on August 8th of 2018 was like the global launch of Wages of War, not just on iPhone, but on Android and Steam. So it's cross-platform, totally awesome. But yeah, it's just, two really small studios that kind of had a similar vision, and we decided to, join forces for this project.
Awesome.
Sweet.
And it's been doing really well, right? Like Steam, was it on New and Noteworthy on Steam, or was that iTunes? Weren't you guys...
Yeah, so it was featured in the App Store as Best New Update because technically it was out on Apple as a limited release. And then on Steam, if you went to the free-to-play section, it was new and trending there. I think it was like number 4 or 5. It was front of the list, which is pretty cool. So,
awesome. Really cool. Yeah,
it's been a lot of fun. And then there are people actually streaming your game. It's only been out for a couple of weeks, on all the platforms, and people are streaming it, and it's just so cool to see your game being played by somebody. It's pretty surreal.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, then
it's a perfect segue.
Yeah, it's a perfect segue. I was gonna say, how much credit would you then feel that you bring to that success? Or another way of wording that is, what do you think is valuable about having a good community manager, just from being inside there? And I know you're kind of talking yourself up, but that's what this is for.
All right. So I would say in general, the benefit of having a good community manager is that it gives the programming team and the dev team that actually works on the game time to work on the game, because everything is like a full-time project, right? So if you're really engaged with the community, it's hard to do that just in spurts here and there. You kind of have to constantly have your finger on the tab of the community. And so if you're a lone developer or just a couple of guys and you're working on a game, it's really hard to balance everything, I think. Yeah. So having somebody who's dedicated to helping run a community and then passing along relevant feedback to you is really valuable, because you don't have to spend your time doing that, and at the same time you're having somebody build your community, and that's the only thing that they're focused on doing. Because interaction and being transparent with your players is huge. You're joking in the beginning about people saying that, but they do say that. And so what's better, an answer from somebody who's dedicated, or maybe missing it because you don't have enough time, or sacrificing working on a game to answer those questions? So it's all about balance. And I think that having a good community manager, they can alleviate that stress from the main dev. And at the same time, with a small indie title, like ours, or any game really, community can be so huge when it comes to growing the player base. You get a couple of dedicated people, you get your core group, and you really engage them, and then they tell their friends, and then, it just kind of snowballs from there. So it's just kind of you have somebody kindling and poking at the fire, making sure that it keeps going,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's fantastic.
I was going to say, you actually kind of answered my second question, which was what...
You're welcome.
Yeah, so we established that a community manager is important for developing that community. What then is the return in regards to how is a community valuable to a developer? I think you kind of answered that, but if you want to elaborate on that.
I'll just do a short little answer for that one. I'll try to, anyway. But it basically creates a sticky environment for players. So I read this study a long time ago, and I forget it, but you can look it up maybe if you feel like it. But basically, when people feel camaraderie with other people in an environment, they're more likely to come back to that environment. So if you have a community of people that are talking and interacting with each other, or interacting with the dev team, people feel more involved, because they are. And then they feel more loyalty to the game or the community because the people running it are loyal to them. You know what I mean? So it just creates an environment that people come back to, and so it keeps your players longer,
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, it's I'm playing with a group of people that care. The developers care. We're all in this together. Yeah. I can see myself as a consumer of gaming, of games in general. I'm gonna play online with people who care and want to further this thing together.
Yeah, I mean, I can even speak just as a player from my involvement in my World of Warcraft days. Mm-hmm. The reason I kept playing that game so long was because I had a community.
Yeah.
Or because I had various communities I was involved with. And even, I remember even back in the days I was such a nerd, I would go on the WoW forums and I would look at the posts, and I just remember, I would remember the community managers by name, the CMs by their, or not name, but by their alias. Online alias. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's really cool. I think it's a really cool job. So,
yeah,
it's pretty fun. I like it.
Are you guys hiring?
It does sound. Your job sounds fascinating. It sounds awesome.
Awesome.
It sounds like it would come naturally to us too. Just talking to folks and getting involved and social media and all that stuff. So, what are the challenges you encounter in your role as a community manager?
Sure. So you get people that are upset. So as much as the fun aspects are, as much as the great aspects are fun, you also have the customer servicey side, which isn't necessarily as fun or glamorous. You'll get people complaining about things or reporting bugs. And it's not that I don't like people reporting things or talking about bugs. It's just oh man, there's a bug. that sucks. And I feel bad. It's like, oh, no, you encountered a bug. But, so that can be difficult. But it's nice because I have I don't actually, like, go in there and code it and fix it. But I'm like, hey, developer, looks like there's a problem. Is there anything we can do? And so that's nice and rewarding, but it's not nearly as fun or glamorous. It's just, like, being the socialite in the chat room, talking to people and, you know, asking them how their experience is and doing memeing on Twitter or whatever. And then there's, like, you know, a lot of back-end work, like, reporting, looking at how well different social media posts perform versus other ones, managing contests and competitions, spreadsheets. I do a lot of spreadsheets. So, like, there's, you know, a lot of less glamorous stuff, like, on the back end that people don't see, but I wouldn't say that it's, like, awful. It's just not as fun as, you know, talking with people and being fun on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah.
I do have a follow-up question, and this could be proprietary, and you can just shut me down. But do you have, like, a specific example of a horrible customer service or community manager experience with a gamer that you can shed light
really on? For, like, this game, but as a streamer,
that's fine.
I would get some crazy trolls, man. Like, just, they would either tell me how bad I was at gaming, or they would say that I was ugly, and I was like, okay, congratulations, you see a trait of mine, good job. Or, you know, they'd be like, you're flat, and I'm like, okay, congratulations, you have eyes, and you can see. Yeah, as a girl, especially, like, you get a lot of, like, physical comments, or you get, like, the really, like, ones where, like, kids are, like, sending you pictures. And then you have to report them. Oh, yeah. I got a couple of those, not that many, because I was dressed like a hot dog, so it's kind of, like, weird if, you know, young men were into that. But,
hey, everyone's got their thing, you know.
Everyone's got their thing. That's not what I was going for, though. Specifically, that's why I dress like a hot dog. But,
yeah.
I mean, there's just, like, trolls everywhere. So, like, anytime you're in an online environment where there's some aspect of anonymity and, you know, various degrees of maturity, you're just gonna run into, like, you know, angry people like that. So
I feel like that, like, gives you some thick skin to be able to be the community manager that you are. Like, that's kind of like...
I cry every day. I cry every time. Oh. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you just get kind of used to it, and you're like, oh, trolls be trolls. Like, they just be trolling. That's cute. They need more attention. They need a hug. You know, like, it's more, like, on them than it is on me.
Yeah, don't feed the trolls. That kind of logic.
Starve them. This is the food. Take it away.
Just ignore it. Starve them. Yep, exactly. That kind of segues us nicely into our next question anyways. So, you know, we've been recently talking on our podcast a lot about toxicity. It almost comes up every podcast now. And it's kind of the buzzword around the gaming industry now. I imagine as a community manager, you probably run into more toxicity than even the average gamer. So kind of how do you deal with that toxicity within your community? And
Sure. Mm-hmm. So there's, like, different places where you're gonna encounter that, right? So you have your public forums like Facebook or Twitter. Those places, you just ignore it. Unless it's, like, deriving from an issue. So someone's like, your game sucks and blah, 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 and I can't believe this happened. Normally I just go, okay, hey man, listen, I'm gonna send you a DM. Let's see if we can figure this out. Or if they're just, like, being ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous, you just ignore them or block them or whatever. If it's in, like, a private area like Discord, where I have more control as far as moderation is concerned, community guidelines are huge, and having a moderator team that you trust, that's mature enough to, like, enforce those guidelines is huge. So, for example, like, in our Discord, the game Wages of War is pretty family friendly. It's, you know, I like to think that basically all ages can play it. You know, there's nothing really, like, too crazy in it or anything, and there's no cursing or whatever. So in our Discord, you know, we have no cursing, and we try to keep things respectful as possible. I mean, sometimes we get heated arguments or heated conversations where, like, people are passionate about an idea or a piece of feedback, or they get salty because they lost or something. Like, that's always going to happen. But we have, like, these core rules and values that everybody has to agree to adhere to, or else you're out. Like, you know, we just don't tolerate that. But you have to establish that from the beginning.
Do you have community moderators, like, or people in the community that moderate the Discord chat for that?
Yeah. So when it first started, there's nobody in the Discord. So we didn't have it. But as the Discord grew, I kind of had, like, a short list of people that I noticed were just generally helpful and respectful and basically already doing the role of moderator already. And I just kind of reached out to them, was like, hey, I'm going to give you permissions to boot people. Can you, when you're around, just make sure that you keep doing what you're doing and kick anyone that's, racist or cursing like crazy or being completely misogynistic, just the normal stuff. And so when I'm not in there, there's normally a moderator in there. And then as the server grows, you get more and more and,
Are you the head moderator, so to speak? Like, maybe unofficially?
I'm the community manager. So, yeah.
So I would think so, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I set it up.
I was going to say you're a one-man team at this point then, yeah?
For community management? Yeah, I mean, like, we all, like, in the developer team, our small team, we all wear many hats. So our jobs overlap a little bit. But I would say primarily I do most of it.
Cool. Awesome.
That wasn't very
Do you
eloquent.
appoint your moderators from the community yourself? Okay.
Yeah. I'm just like, hey, you're cool. Come on, join the team.
Nice. Okay.
And they're like, okay, sounds like fun. I want a yellow name in the Discord.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you want to ask that question?
Yeah.
Skip?
So how do you think community management has changed over the years? Or how is it changing now?
I want to say that, like, the core principles are the same. Just, like, and I could be totally wrong, but I think that just, like, the use of social media is maybe changing. And it used to be, like, traditionally for games, it's been very forum heavy. You have, like, the traditional online forums, whereas now I think that interactions are moving towards real-time interaction, like on Discord or Twitter or whatever. Not that forums are dying or anything. I just think that, like, with, like, the younger gamers, they're more apt to use, like, apps that you can use on your phone and, access more regularly.
So, like, in the past, we'd have things like NeoGAF or Reddit. I guess we still use Reddit today, but, like, NeoGAF died and shut down and was replaced by this forum website called Reset Era. And I know there's a lot of gamers on there that are, like, posting things. Leaks happen there. A lot of community managers from other podcasts that I listen to operate by, like, scouring these websites to try and find leads or stories and hits and things. Are you familiar with any of that stuff?
I mean, I know Reddit. I'm not really familiar with the other one.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. I was just
No,
curious.
it's cool. I mean, I can even, like I said, I mean, we're part of the old guard, I suppose. We're old veteran gamers, which is weird because I'm like 29.
Yeah.
But, again, harkening back to my experience with community management being WoW, like, I mean, they had their official forums, and that used to be the, like, central hub of information. And I would even do things like, I check the server statuses.
Oh, yeah.
On the forums, like, go to the technical support forums and check the server statuses when my server was down. Now, again, like, only a few years later, after my WoW time, they would start doing that on Twitter. So whenever I came back to WoW, I'd be like, oh, no, just check our Twitter. And I'm like, I don't know how to check Twitter. Yeah. So, like, that changed. Forum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I would have gone to the forum. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Back in my day. Yeah, and then now, like you said, Discord, to me, that's like, what? Like, people are going onto Discord for information, but, like, that's where the beat is, I guess. And that's it's crazy to me that's, like, these new...
I mean, not everybody uses Discord, but, I think that it's, emerging, and I think that more and more people are using it, and we like it because it's, like, real-time interaction. You have an issue, we can talk about it, or you can report it in a room, and it's cool to kind of talk to people in real time. I used to like forums, too. I used to be a forum rat, but I really prefer Discord.
That's awesome. I would think we should figure out how to do that, too.
I can help.
For the show.
I don't know if a podcast lends itself to a live feedback.
It out.
You'd be surprised.
Maybe if we do a live stream, it would work.
You'd be surprised because it's really about interacting with people where they are. So if you're interacting with people that are in your audience, even if it's not like just feedback or suggestions, but it's just hanging out, people that are like-minded. I mean, there are a lot of streamers, for example. This is where I heard about Discord. Like, streamers, they have their own Discords. So it's like they're fans and stuff. So they interact with people that watch them when they're not on. That's a good way to... I mean, that's if your audience uses it. You have to go to where your people are, So.
Interesting.
For sure. Yeah.
Tell us, people, where are you?
Where are
Let us find you.
Yes, here's a good point.
We'll meet you there. Yeah.
Yes.
We can break the discussion to talk about where people can find us.
Yeah, where they can find us to tell us where we can find them.
I love it.
We are on Facebook, Reddit, Twitter,
Wow.
Instagram,
Wow.
all
Wow.
at 80-Bit Podsmash. All lowercase, no hyphens, no uppercases, no funny business, just 80-Bit Podsmash. You can find us anywhere on social media. Our landing website is 80bitpodsmash.com, where we have links to Google Play and iTunes, as well as Stitcher and Spotify. We can find us anywhere you guys are. We will be. If you have a platform that we don't exist on, let us know, and we'll add ourselves to that platform.
Yeah. Like Discord.
Wow.
If you want us on Discord, we'll go do the Discord thing.
We'll do it.
We have business cards now. Physical little cards. You can.
I saw your
go
business
percolate.
cards, man.
If you-
Those are pretty sweet. They look like coasters. Are they coasters?
Thank
Yeah.
you. That's the point.
They
Where
can
gaming
be
goes to grab a
I
beer.
love it.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I
can
thought
put-
it was,
you
and I was
can-
like, oh, well, because there's no like banana for scale, so I wasn't really sure.
Right.
You know how?
They're not full size, so they're size of business
Okay.
cards, but they're square with rounded corners
it.
to look like
love
coasters.
it.
But they're perfect for like a beer bottle.
Yeah.
So
They fit a beer
that's
bottle
why.
just
I
fine.
want one. I could use one right now. 'cause I
Okay,
don't have a
we'll get
coaster,
you one.
So hook me up.
We'll get you one. We'll hook
Thanks.
you up.
We'll get you
I want
20.
that swag.
Yeah,
bro.
we'll get you
I want
one.
that swag.
T-shirts are coming.
Yes.
All
Saved my
right.
life.
So let's talk a little bit about Wages of War then. So
Wages?
Wagers. Sorry.
Wagers.
Did I say
Wait, wages?
No, it's
Wagers of war.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I
there's an
stand
R.
corrected.
Yeah.
Okay, there's an R in there.
Yeah,
Wagers.
There's an R.
And I even have the game. I
Yeah,
played
you,
it.
You have it.
I'm disappointed in
do it on your phone.
you need to play it more.
I'm
obviously.
sorry.
No, I'm just
Termite.
kidding.
Step
I
up
do.
your wagers game. So this was my hot button question, so I really wanted to include this. And you and I had already talked about this ahead of time, so I want to hear your official response.
Okay.
How would you respond to accusations that Wagers of War is a, quote, Hearthstone clone?
LOL. No, I mean, it's not. Okay, here's my official response. You obviously haven't played our game, and or you haven't played Hearthstone, because they're completely different.
Mm.
Like, the
Yeah.
way you get
Mhm.
mana is different. You use regular playing cards in our game, which I'm pretty sure you don't have, like, an Ace of Spades in Hearthstone. And, the way the turns are done is completely different. Hearthstone is back and forth. You take a turn, the other person takes a turn, whereas in Wagers of War, you're both simultaneously making decisions and then, you know, simultaneously attacking and defending at the same time. So, totally different games. So, play our game.
I'm gonna lay out my new perception to the game as I just started playing last
Love
week
it.
to prepare for this. When I first installed it and ran it,
Yeah.
and got into like the first maybe 2 tutorials outside of the Ace of Spades existing. Like, I don't know what do you call the deck of 52 cards, like with standard clubs, spades, diamonds, aces?
That's a great question.
Like, what
I
is
have
the
no
name
idea.
for that kind of a deck of cards? I don't
Playing
know,
cards?
but outside, I
Yeah,
guess
playing cards,
sure.
yeah,
Like
uh-huh.
outside of it, just consisting of regular player cards, I was like, or playing cards. This is exactly the same as Hearthstone. Stylistically, music, art style, like all of it was very Hearthstone. Mana, I'm like, okay, it's that. But as soon as you get through, like, so the tutorial is maybe 6 parts, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
After you get through the second
Which I
part
like
of that,
by
yeah,
the
it
way.
is.
Just
I
as
like
a
it
side
too.
note, I like that they're like, hey, do you want to learn advanced features? And I can be like, yes or no. In my case, I was like, yes, I want to learn advanced features because I don't know what all these cards do yet.
Mhm.
Nice.
But, yeah, it's just a side note. I thought the 6-part tutorial was a very smart way of breaking it up.
It is.
Carry on.
Yeah. So after maybe part 2, I was like, this is way different from Hearthstone. Like, oh
Right.
my
Exactly.
gosh. Completely.
Totally different.
Like, so if you really do think it's a Hearthstone clone, you haven't played either one of the two. So I back you up, but I can also see if you don't know what you're doing and you just jump into this new game, you're like, Hearthstone clone, I quit. Like, hold on. Give it like 20 more minutes, if that.
Right.
Maybe 10.
Well, and
Even worse than people just saying Hearthstone clone is it's a mobile game that you can also play on PC, but I feel like there's like a stigma a little bit against mobile games that maybe they're like not as good as, PC and console. But when it's a card game, a card game's a card game. And I think that it stands up on its own merit, even against Hearthstone and Magic or whatever. It's a totally different game that I think you can, it's not mutually exclusive. You can enjoy both for separate reasons.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I think that, I mean, we talked about this in another episode recently, so we'll find that and link it off. But we talked about how, a game that's a clone of another game isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, all games kind of derive inspiration from other games. Like all media, period, derives inspiration from other media.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yes, Hearthstone and Wagers of War may feel similar, like may scratch similar itches, if that makes sense. But again, that doesn't change the fact that they're completely different games. It'd be like comparing Anthem and Destiny and saying, oh, Anthem's just a Destiny clone, when, like, no, they're different. They look like different games. They're going to play differently. So, yeah.
Thank you for noticing.
I like it. The game's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to play more. I'm just doing the AI stuff right now.
We gotta play against each other so I can kick your butt.
Yeah, we gotta get in there and play.
Yeah.
Nice, come join our Discord. Hearthstone. You can talk with other players. No.
Hey, there you go. That's a good plug. I like Hearthstone too, but for some reason this seems more accessible.
It is.
I don't understand.
I'll tell
Blizzard
you why.
Is nuts.
It's
okay, go ahead. Yeah, please
it's
do.
It's because your deck is only 6 cards. So, like, instead of, agonizing over a 30-card deck in Hearthstone, you have a simplified deck-building experience with our game. But at the same time, because there's the addition of the regular pack of playing cards, you still get a lot of diversity when you're playing. So, like, you get the diversity of cards itch that you would get, from Hearthstone, where you have, like, different cards every turn. But at the same time, you don't really have to worry about building a deck of 30 different cards. But
yeah,
I would say the strategic element is still there when you're actually playing, but the actual, like, work outside of the game is, simplified a little bit, I think, to make it a little bit more enjoyable and, like you said, accessible.
Yep.
I also like that it's not married to an existing intellectual property. Hearthstone, though, to be fair, World of Warcraft is huge and they have a lot to derive from. Like, it's still derived. They can't suddenly introduce a Diablo character into...
Right. Oh, they could and they would. And
they
make
could,
money.
they might, you know what I mean? But, like, they're not married to an existing IP, whereas, Wagers of War, they can just add whatever they want. And I'm sure they are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we got, like, random stuff. We got a gambler dude. We got the Abomination dude that scares me, but he's really cool. We've got the vampire and...
It is funny how you start with, like, a knight. He's a regular, just
the Iron Knight,
medieval knight. Yeah, and I'm like, I want to play the gambler because he's in the tutorial. I was like, I want to be him. He looks cool. So I'm looking forward to switching it up.
He's my favorite. I like him because you just kind of like smash people's faces with him, but it's a gamble because he's the gambler. So like his special ability, if you decided to choose it, you can either do 1 damage, 2 damage, or 3 damage. You never know.
It's like a roulette table. It's cool.
I love it.
High risk, high reward kind of thing.
Yeah, I love high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
Well, you were kind of hitting on this, and I want you to elaborate a little bit more on it. But could you comment on just what is your take on the sort of indie/mobile gaming scene right now? So, what do you think is kind of hot right now in the mobile gaming scene, and where do you think that the industry is moving? Do you think it's moving towards more indie mobile game developments, or do you think it's moving away from that? Like, what's kind of, you've got a pulse on that kind of thing, so where do you think that the status is on mobile gaming?
I mean, obviously our game is the best game that has ever been a game on any platform whatsoever. But, outside of that, it's kind of hard to say. I think that mobile really opens up the door for a lot of indie developers, to, put their games out there, but, that's a double-edged sword. There's so many people that have the opportunity that makes, it a bigger ocean, I guess, to swim in. Like, it could be an amazing game, but if there's a gajillion other games out there, how do you make sure that you're the game that's found when there's a sea of other developers? I will say things that are popular right now on mobile, or that are gaining popularity, are like the cross-platform experiences, like, you have Fortnite on mobile now, which a lot of people scoffed at, but it's doing really well. People really enjoy it. You also have PUBG on mobile, which is really cool. Vainglory, one of the more popular mobile MOBAs, is kind of going the opposite direction. They're going from mobile to PC, so now they're like cross-platform on PC and mobile. And then you have Arena of Valor, which is, I'm into the MOBA scene. So you have Arena of Valor, which is made by Tencent. They're not indie, but I think they're cross-platform on Switch. So like you can play it on your phone, you can play it on the Switch. So like I think cross-platform is where things are going, especially now that mobile technology is evolving. But I think that the major hurdle that people have to get over when they think about mobile gaming is they think of like Candy Crush or kind of stupid piddly games. I don't want to call games stupid, but like
simple, like oversimplified
and over cash
to
grabbing.
kill time while you're in the dentist office.
Where it's like totally pay to win. Where
Right.
like Hearthstone, I think is pretty good. Where it's like it's a trading card game. You buy packs of cards. That's you do that in Magic. You do that in Hearthstone. Like it makes sense. Same thing with our game. But like you just have the games that are just like you want to play 3 times in 1 hour. That's fine, but if you want to play beyond that, you need to pay us like $1 jillion. And I think people need to see past mobile games being that when the technology is progressing so much further, where you can play like near, console quality on your mobile device because they're just so good right now.
Yeah, and I think that, even like MOBAs lend themselves pretty well to mobile games, like not just in gameplay, but in, like that same kind of idea of like, here are the things you can buy, but you don't have to buy them if you don't want to, and it's not pay to win. Like, that's one of the biggest like hot button topics in the gaming industry right now. Period. Is like, are your like we've accepted the fact that microtransactions are now a part of the gaming world.
Still stigma attached to it.
There is a stigma for sure, but like that's only because old people like us remember what it was like before microtransactions.
But you don't want to have a sense of pride and accomplishment when you
yeah. So that's the big question. Is like, we're okay with microtransactions, but please don't make them pay to win. And so I think that though there is, I would agree, a stigma attached to mobile gaming.
Yeah, it's just
kind of relying on that kind of stuff.
Yes,
like, it's not necessary for a mobile game to rely on that in order to be successful. And I like your comments on cross-platform, because that's a huge topic right now.
Specifically with Fortnite,
yeah, Fortnite, because like there's no reason why I shouldn't play Wages of War on my Switch, be able to play it on my Switch, while my wife's playing it on her phone, while Danny's playing it on Termite here's playing it on the Steam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like.
It's not on Switch yet, but I'll add that to our feedback sheet.
Totally.
Nice.
Do it. Get it on the Switch.
And like the Fortnite crossplay situation is boiling like mad because PlayStation 4 is dominating the console market right now with over 80-some million sold. And if you establish a Fortnite account on the PlayStation 4 and you buy stuff,
even after playing it on another console, I have opinions about this.
Do it. Lay it on me.
It's so ridiculous. So, as I understand it, and you can tell me that I'm wrong, you can have a Switch, and then you log in, you create your own account, and then later on, after already establishing your account on Nintendo Switch, you go play on a PlayStation 4, and you log in, and you do the stuff there, then you go back to your Switch, they're like, I'm sorry, you belong to us now, and you can't play there on that name.
That's exactly it.
We
She's
caught you.
Right.
We caught you. And we can do it because we're the biggest console right now. It's just so ridiculous. It
is.
I want to use words that I can't use, but I want to use them, so just imagine all the curse words right now.
So the moment you attach yourself in Fortnite to Sony, you're done. Like, that's a separate... Think of that as a different instance of Fortnite in your life than everything else.
What's a cross-platform?
You can have 2 different accounts.
Right. We're just going to
everyone else is
cross-platform.
Yeah. She's exactly... Like, the frustration there is, like, it's a hot topic. And the only counter-argument that I have to that sort of makes sense, that I don't know if I'm on board with, is, like, if you start a Destiny 2 account on your PC versus your Xbox One or your PS4, it's different across all the platforms, even though it seems like it could be cross-play. But and like Call of Duty and
sure, but
every other game out there in the world has been segregated by console or by...
Yes, but they don't sell themselves as cross-platform. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. The fact that Fortnite has opened itself up to cross-platform, and the only... It's not Fortnite, it's not Epic Games that is blocking... these players.
The problem is that Sony is like stealing people's accounts. They're like stealing. It's like, you went to your friend's house who has a PlayStation 4. Oh, caught you. You don't even have a PlayStation 4. It's ridiculous. I don't even play Fortnite, and it makes me angry. I just think the concept is just so like dumb.
Yeah, I think that it's the worst press that Sony has gotten in years. So
good.
They don't seem to play nice.
Yeah, Sony's been doing great. Sony's been doing great in the press realm for a while now. Really, since that legendary E3 when Sony said, "Hey, it's cool. We'll allow you to trade physical copies of games still because the PlayStation had a disc drive and the Xbox One did not.
Well, it was slated not to.
Yeah.
It did.
So it ended up it had to backpedal. But like ever since then, Sony's been like the golden child. So it's kind of interesting to see Sony now starting to get knocks for something.
Yeah.
That, I mean, yeah, it's a big deal. So
it is.
It's cool.
And it's interesting also you mentioned how the race to the bottom of pricing, so to speak, with the free-to-play movement in mobile games has affected people's perceptions of better games today. Because it really did establish everything about, cell phone games are always supposed to be free. I'm not ever going to buy an app on my phone ever. Yeah. Like, it set this precedent because everyone was chomping at the bit to get these free apps out there and then try and lure people in with microtransactions afterward. And it was actually bad for the gaming industry on the mobile devices. And I like people like Nintendo kind of butt against it with Super Mario Go. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. I think it's Mario Run or something.
Yeah, it's it. Super Mario Run. I can't even believe I forgot.
Pokemon Go, Mario Run.
Thank you. And with Mario Run, it was $15 or $10. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, I gotta buy a Mario game. And I was like, yes, thank you, Nintendo.
Did you like that game?
Totally, I love it.
I thought it was garbage, but that's okay. You're allowed.
I'm a Nintendo fanboy. It's noted, so everything Nintendo comes out with is gold. Although I didn't like the newest Pokemon Quest at all. I played that for 15 minutes, and I was like, no, I'm done. But yeah, I loved Super Mario Run. I thought it was fun, and I love the fact that I spent $10 on it and got the full experience. And
that's great. More games need to do that.
They do, and I also think there's a place for getting in really cheap for $1 or $2 or even free and doing the microtransaction or those things properly. And I think Wages of War and Hearthstone have a potential to do that. Other games, there's an industry kind of redaction of that where they're coming back now and they're like, okay, how do we do these microtransactions properly to get people into our games and make good quality games? And I think that you just mentioned 4 MOBAs that are on mobile devices that can do that. So I think they're finding success in that market, and they're finding a way to monetize their games in such a way that meets the expectation that I don't have to pay for a mobile game, but also makes money.
The key to good pricing, and this is just my opinion, in a mobile game is that everything, or in a game in general, is that everything that's available you should be able to grind for as long and as much as you want.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, cool. We have one more question before the end of the podcast. We want you to kind of comment on being a woman and being in the gaming industry.
Yes.
Do you face any kind of discrimination or challenges specifically because of your gender? And do you think that things have gotten easier or harder for girl gamers in the last few years?
That's kind of hard to answer.
It is.
I've only ever experienced being a girl gamer. I will say that when I was streaming, it was difficult because people either thought that I was only doing it to get attention or money or something, which I wasn't, and that I was faking it. That was one thing. So I feel like if you're a girl gamer, you're expected to be either really good at a game to prove yeah, I'm a serious gamer, or kind of be a floozy. Those are the two extremes that people kind of expect from you. And I was just kind of I'm a casual gamer. I play games because I like them. I know that I'm trash, but I enjoy being trash at video games. I'm not faking it. I really like it. So it was kind of hard to find my niche niche, whatever that word is. To find
I
my
do that
place.
every time. Every time
he says that word.
It's awesome.
My place, if you will. So that was kind of difficult, and I think it's hard because you want people to take you seriously. So it's kind of hard to get people to take you seriously as a serious gamer, even if you're not MLG or whatever. And then as a community manager, I really haven't experienced too much discrimination. I mean, I'm pretty new to this world of community management. I did, social media management before for a different game. And as far as interacting with the community, it really hasn't been a detriment or anything. I haven't noticed any discrimination. But, I mean, there's still plenty of time left. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow something will happen. And they'd be like, you have boobs, I don't trust you. Ugh. And I'll be like, okay, well, that's your opinion, man. But, yeah, so far, no, not really. But I will say, it's I do feel like I have to work extra hard to, prove that I belong there. That would be like the hardest part for me.
Yeah, that's the part that's like the hardest to talk about too, because there's no clear like objective list of complaints or of feelings. Mm-hmm. It's like I just have this air about this environment that I'm in that I need to react this way, and it's very difficult to articulate what that looks like. So it's got to be super frustrating. However, I'm glad that you don't feel this way yet in your company that you work for. It sounds like you're happy there. And the toxicity against women sort of came from your Twitch days, which is from the community. And I almost expect that, sadly.
And that was a small subsect, too. I mean, the majority of people that you run into, or at least that I did, were really nice. And, you know, we had a good time, and it was fun, and it wasn't anything weird. I really feel like the hot dog costume helped a lot with that. But, I mean, feel like, you know, I kind of busted out the gates of trying to kind of, like, break whatever people stereotyped women as streamers with, you know, a giant, ugly hot dog costume. So that helped me a lot.
Fantastic. Like, you immediately just gouged all abilities for them to troll you just by being in a hot dog costume, and I think that is like the ultimate counter troll on so many levels. Yeah,
I just trolled myself. I'm like, I know I'm the worst. You get it, WRST. Like, I get it. I suck. I'm not the best at this game.
Yes.
But I am the best hot dog that plays this game, and I challenge anyone to come at me who's a hot dog, and nobody did.
Right.
So
I loved your, you know, you explained to me your mission statement with the whole hot dog thing. Like, at one point you said all these girls, they start their streams and they kind of just show off their cleavage. You know what I mean?
Some
like
of them.
Yeah, not all of them. But that's kind of the stereotype there, is that like the girl is just kind of like, oh, I'm a girl, look at me, I play games. Whereas you were like, you know what? I want to kind of just subvert that whole expectation, and I'm dressed up like a hot dog. Like, yeah.
Ultimately, it would be really nice if I didn't have to do that.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's the goal. That's the end goal.
That is. And like there is, I don't know if you're familiar now, but like there's like a huge controversy, and I'm not saying this term because I mean it, but like the Twitch thoughts, or like the booby streamers, or you know, like the girls that are like softcore adjacent in some people's opinions. And there's like this huge argument of like, do they belong there? Are they making gaming better or worse for females? Should this even be a conversation? And that's like a whole nother can of worms. But like that's a huge thing that's happening right now, especially in the streaming community on Twitch, because people are very polarized on the issue.
Wow. Yeah. That is like a fascinating insight. This stuff thing I don't even know. Like if I'm going to watch a Twitch streamer, I'm going to care about the person, the personality. Like I'm not going to have that insight. And I'm a guy, so if I wanted to start it, I wouldn't have to worry about that.
Right. Yeah.
And that's another part of the issue. It's another angle to approach this entire like issue with women in gaming. It's the fact that there is two extremes. Like if I'm a female and I want to stream, you're immediately like pigeonholed into one of those two extremes, and that's horrible. Oh, yeah. So the hot dog costume is awesome for bucking against all of that.
Right, and it's so frustrating. I mean, we've heard that comment about not feeling like we had another other than our wives. We also had another woman on our podcast doing an interview with us. Her name was Kristen, and that was the same comment she made of having to feel like she has to prove that she belongs there. I've never once, as a male, had to ever prove that I belong in a gaming like conversation at all. Yeah, like, so it just sucks that has to even be a thing. Like it makes me frustrated that like that you have, and like you said, you've never been anything but a girl gamer. Like you know,
you can't change that.
It's not like you can just be like,
well, I guess you could.
Yeah, I don't plan on changing it.
yeah, exactly. So
I identify as I am.
Right, and you know, it's just I want, you know, like, I want my niece, I want your daughter to be able to grow up in a world where that isn't ever questioned. That she can just be like, if she's into games, which she may or may not be, but if she's into games, she can be like, I'm into games, I play games. And that, like, her male peers, just sort of accept that.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Not like, oh, really? You can't like games, you're a girl. Like, right. Hopefully those days are over.
Right.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope that it's changing. Yeah.
We'll see.
Cool. All right, Joe. Well, that is about wrapping up for time we have for our show. So thank you, Brizzle McFizzle, for joining us and talking to us about community management stuff. What?
We promised our audience some beatboxing.
It's true.
From the Brizzle Extraordinaire Beatboxer.
It's true, from the legendary hot dog days.
Let me get hydrated really quick.
She's wetting the whistle. Yep.
It's been a while since I beatboxed, guys. So like this is not the top of my game, but Okay, no.
All right,
okay,
do it.
Okay.
It's cool. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's the 80-bit Podsmash beat.
That's what I got.
Woo! Perfect.
That's it.
That was awesome.
That's it. That's the one.
Sorry if that was off.
No, it's amazing. It's gonna be our new intro.
The
We're
problem
gonna
is
make that our intro.
there's
and our
internet
outro.
lag because it's a Skype call, and so our reactions to her are going to be totally off beat
It's cool.
when
It'll
we
be
actually
fine.
put it together. It's
It'll
going to be
work.
hilarious.
That's true.
And that is our fault, not hers.
Right.
That
yeah.
was awesome. Thank
Take
you.
it off.
Totally not
Thank
my
you,
fault.
Bree.
I'm
Whee!
perfect in every way. My
Absolutely.
beatboxing is the best. No.
Yes.
Brizzle, where, if you want, where can the good people of the internet find you and or find Maverick Games and your community management excellence?
Okay, cool. So you can find Wages of War at Wages of War everywhere. So Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, the big places. And we have links to our Discord channel in those places. And you can find me at Brizzle McFizzle on Twitter. I'm mostly on Twitter.
Great. Awesome. Sweet. And
Awesome.
again, you can find us at 80-bit Podsmash on all of those very similar platforms. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Reddit. All of those at 80-bit Podsmash. You can find our landing page is 80bitpodsmash at Nope. That's our email, 80bitpodsmash@gmail.com. You can send us emails. Our landing page is just 80bitpodsmash.com.
Yes.
Again, as Termite said earlier, there's no hyphens, no funny business.
Nope.
Just
Come and get us.
come and get us. Come engage with us. And again, if you want us on Discord, if you want us on any social media platform, if you are a Wages of War fan who is listening to this after it being hopefully plugged by our dear friend Brizzle here, then hit us up. Send us a comment. Say like, hey, I listened to this at the recommendation so I could hear the awesome musings of Brizzle. And let us know if you like the show. And other than that, we will see you all next week, hopefully, with another episode. Actually, no, guess what? Hey, announcement time. Next week is going to be our anniversary episode.
1 year.
We will have hit 52 episodes.
Full
Which
year.
is 1 week. Yep, every year.
We have not
Aww.
missed a single week
yes.
at all.
Uh-huh.
So yes, we are pumped. Come drink with us. Come celebrate with us. It will be the episode. What do you call it? You said this is the penultimate
episode.
So what makes that the
ultimate episode?
Oh,
yeah,
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, 80-bit Pod Smash Ultimate.
Yes, perfect.
Great.
You guys are so cute.
Hey, thank you, Bree, thank you, Brizzle, for joining us. We really appreciated your input on everything, and I hope that our listeners enjoyed it as well.
Any last words?
Bye.
See you next week.
See you guys.